Hey, hello everyone, it's Dr. Sue. Welcome to the Facebook Live, The Short Answer, and I'm thrilled to be here with you again. Here we are in the middle of amazing times, right? We have been so busy in service in so many different ways, and I know that you guys have been rearranging your worlds as well, and there's such an energy to that, such a vibration to transforming what we thought we were going to be doing into what we're doing. And it is actually tapping the greatest part of you, the part of you that is meant to be living this life, the part of you that has been wanting to live this life, believe it or not. You actually are made of creative energy. You're made of being able to turn on a dime, shape shift, create what it is that is relevant in this moment. And if we're not doing that, we're actually not alive. I was just on the phone with my dear friend, Reverend Michael Beckwith, and we were talking about the fact that this is actually a big bonus time for humanity, that so many things are being handed to us on a silver platter, and the choice is before us. What will we make of it? And that was really the question at the bus stop conversation that we had when we were coming into planet Earth to begin with. The question before us was, what will you make of it? What will you make of it? And I want you to understand in the short answer today that you are 100% at choice in your life. And while it doesn't feel like it, and it feels like choices are being made for you, and privileges or even rights are being taken and questioned, and the future that you'd planned for and worked so hard for, we have no idea. And even some of the past that you'd worked so hard for, and establishing ourselves in systems, in workplaces, and all kinds of dynamic processes in our lives that, they're just not happening that way. It's just not happening. And the reason it's not is because it's not supposed to. There's something more important that's getting your attention, that's trying to get your attention, so that your intentions can be aligned with something that's more relevant. There's something of a higher nature. It's more subtle, it's invisible, and it has a hold of your life. And it's actually the universe and the way things go that is trying to show you that there is a befriended relationship that you could have that would serve you greatly. If you trusted the relationship and the way things go, you wouldn't be stressed right now. You'd be excited about the innovation that's happening. You'd be proud of all the creative ways that you're figuring out to do things. You wouldn't be rigid and stiffed up about the fact that you don't know what to do and there's no process in place and we don't know where things are headed. These are the kinds of choice points that humanity is made for. This is actually why we're here. We're here to realize our tendency to complain about the structures that we're in, but not know how to operate without them, and to awaken to that reality and mix it up in there and realize I'm actually quite free. I can turn my life into any experience that I choose, and I have to remember that I'm at choice. Because when we remember that we are at choice, we make choices. And when we don't remember that we're at choice, we get upset and we get stressed. And when we get stressed, we get sick. And when we get sick, we know what happens. We become susceptible to the backside of the model. We become susceptible to the world is bigger than me. We get caught up in the idea that we're not creating this entire thing, when in fact we are. Spirituality has been telling us this for thousands of years, and science has been proving it to us for hundreds of years actually now. And in a recent 60 to 75 years, it's out in more of a publication fashion. It's in a format that it's written and reports are being delivered for our culture to realize that we're creating our reality, that we find what we're looking for. And so if you're finding yourself stressed right now, you're looking to be stressed. And you're looking to be stressed because you're used to being stressed. And you hold on to the stress as some semblance of familiarity. And we get a false sense of self even as a stressed person. So I want to ask you, invite you into a new way of living this month. That you decide that even though we don't know what's going on, and we know that they're going to lift this and mandates are going to change and people are going to emerge, and then they're probably going to withdraw and retract and shut things down again because increased cases will be reported and all kinds of things like that. If you could just create some space between you and that, you would realize that this time is going to come and it's going to go, and we will have either evolved through it or we will have missed it. And if you're feeling stressed right now, you're missing the point, truly. And I know how easy it is to say those words, but I also know how deeply I mean them and how much I'm living by them every day. There are so many things happening in Morter Institute, and I'm sure in all of your workplaces, of redefining and reimagining and reconfiguring and recalculating and trying to point into a different direction that's going to serve and deliver on the promises that we're keeping, or that we're making. And so, in the process of doing that, every single one of the village people, the village that it takes to run my life that we so, warmly joke about, that inside of each of the village people in Morter Institute, and I hope inside of each of you, our community members, you're finding a sense of creativity that you didn't know you had. And you're applying that creativity in facets of your life that you don't typically. Because we were raised in the culture that our jobs dictated what we were going to think and feel and do, and our social norms and our relationships and our structures that have been our regular, they disappear, and then who are we? So if you're feeling stressed right now, I want to invite you, let's just do a little practice together. So try to situate yourself in the next couple of seconds in a way that you could just kind of do a little practice together. So we never do this on the short answer, but apparently that's what we're doing today, okay? So if you have something to drink, if it's water, take a drink with me. I've been talking nonstop for so many days in a row that I open my eyes and I just, start trying to remember where I am pointed and what's happening. And I love it so much because I'm in a constant wave of this information. I'm constantly between the worlds and delivering the information in every way that I can imagine. And that imagination is what creates buoyancy and allows me to have the power and the fortitude and the, it's not even fortitude, it's just the desire to focus up and begin again in another conversation that is relevant. I'm hoping that you're tapping your creativity, because you're made of creative energy. And if you're not tapping it to the degree that is being invited right now, you're not as alive as you could be. So I'm hoping that you're situated in such a fashion that we can just take a couple minutes and do a little bit of a process here together. Because our entire Facebook community needs to understand that inside the Energy Codes coursework, there is a world waiting for you to set yourself free. To begin to identify as the essential, authentic, true self versus the false self that is personality-based, that gets stressed out when things don't go the way we planned. There's an availability and a flexibility and a buoyancy that is trying, that is so desirous of expressing out through that rough, tough personality that has it locked in. Our protective isms and our performances keep us bottled in a reality that is so painful relative to the one that we could be living in. And dreams pass through and we shut them out because they don't feel familiar. And all the while, the reason they don't feel familiar is because they're made of additional vibrations than the ones we let happen inside our body. And so when you start to get that feeling of uncertainty, or whatever you might call it, discomfort or some kind of fear or anxiousness, I just want to invite you into reframing it and frame it into the idea that this is the rest of me showing up, and it's time for me to get to know the rest of who I am. And the rest of who I am is more capable than the parts of me that were trying to make it through this life up until this point in time. So think of something that's going on in your life right now. Something that's a little unnerving. Something that causes a bit of a wobble, or perhaps a vibration or a flutter in your system in some way. Something that's just too irregular or not predictable enough, or just closed in for too long. The feeling, the felt vibrational response that you have to that, that's what I'm interested in. So get in touch with what it is that you're actually feeling in response to what's going on in the world. And now take your attention to your body and notice that somewhere in the body there's a vibration, there's a flutter, there's a clamp down, there's a knot, there's a lump, there's a charge in some way. And I just want you to hug it, just on the inside, not with your arms on the outside, but just hug it on the inside. Just hug this on the inside. And then those of you that have read the book or that have been around in the community and you understand about the central channel breathing, I want you to just start central channel breathing while you're hugging this. And if you're not familiar with the central channel breathing, just do this. Use your imagination and pretend that there's a tube or a channel of light or high frequency energy that's coming right down through the top of your head, the center of your throat, into your chest and into your heart. And you're going to breathe that energy right into your heart and your solar plexus and your belly. You're just going to breathe it in. All the while, you're still focusing on this energy that's kind of freaking you out right now. And then exhale and just let that energy run down through your belly and down through the tip of your spine and down through your legs and just straight into the earth. All the while, you're still focusing on this area and hugging it that's related to this energy that you're just not comfortable with. And take a breath up from Mother Gaia, from Pachamama, from Mother Nature, from the earth herself, and breathe up supportive, nurturing energies because they belong to you and they are a part of you that perhaps you disconnect from on a regular basis. Stop that. And now exhale from the core of your body up through the throat and through the center of your brain and out the top of your head. And all the while, this reality is the same, and we're not denying it. We're right here present with it. And we're going to breathe in from the top of our head and in through the throat and into the chest and into the core of our bodies. And you squeeze Mula Bandha, or you squeeze the muscles in the base of the pelvic bowl. If you were going to the bathroom and you had to stop that stream instantly, you'd squeeze certain muscles to do that. So squeeze them and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And roll your eyes for just a moment and feel the tension behind your eyes. Right there, from the tension behind your eyes to right inside your heart, to right inside the base of your pelvic bowl, anchor yourself and continue to breathe from above your head down into the body. Breathe in possibility. What if this was all good for me in some way that I'm not yet aware of? And then exhale down into the earth. And as you exhale down into the earth, know that you're just dropping your personal effort and allowing the universe to rush through you to do this job for you because it is you. And if you let it be on your team at the very least, you will see that you just become a vehicle of steering this quantum field and pointing it in the direction of your desires. Take a breath up from Mother Gaia again, from Mother Nature, from Pachamama, from the divine, loving, feminine, nurturing presence. Breathe it up into your belly because there is nothing happening here that isn't totally good for you. And then squeeze your heart in the backside and exhale up through the throat and up through the center of the brain and out through the top of your head again. And all the while, you're aware of this feeling that's unfamiliar. And take a deep breath in from there again. Breathe down into the center of the brain and into your throat and into your heart and feel it. And feel it all. Feel those energies that you're not familiar with. But you're embracing them because they are the rest of you. And you deserve to have the whole of you here. It's only energy. Don't be afraid of it. And exhale down into the earth. And take another breath up from the earth. And while you're breathing into your body, these unfamiliar energies are starting to become familiar because I'm not leaving. I'm staying right here with them. And I'm going to feel them. Watch, feel, do, have. And exhale up through your throat in the center of the brain and out the top of your head. And one last time, let's take a breath from over your head. And just drink in infinite support. Drink it in from the high heavens and drink it into the high brain centers and the center of your head and drink it down into your throat, into your manifesting capacity and drink it right into your heart and open your heart. Open your heart wide and breathe it down into your belly. Big Buddha belly, big fat belly. You have permission for your belly to hang out over the top of your belt right now. And then exhale. Drop it right down through you and in to the earth. For in the earth underneath where you stand or sit, there is a pool of energy that is your destiny. It's your legacy. It's there waiting for you to animate it. And every time you breathe up from the earth and into this core, you get to start to incorporate those energies into your daily life experience. Always take a breath from beyond your body into the core of your body and exhale to beyond your body. And then inhale from beyond your body into the core of your body and exhale out beyond your body. By doing so, you start to animate the invisible you, which is the true you, and it begins to have a life, the life that it came here to have. And so, pay attention to how you feel in the face of this thing that's going on in your life that's eliciting an energy that used to be unfamiliar and definitely uncomfortable for you. And notice there's a little more tolerance for it. There's a little more presence. And later tonight when you're going to bed or tomorrow morning before your feet hit the floor, do this again with deep, slow, rich sincerity and watch what happens. What will happen is your vibrational frequency will change and you become coherent, resonant with your own highest self. And when that happens, you start living not from survival, but from thriving creativity, where you're meant to be living. We have so many things along these lines that we're sharing with so many people right now. I'll be teaching Body Awake Yoga, free Body Awake Yoga tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So, of course, join us with that. If you're interested in becoming a hands-on practitioner and you haven't contacted us yet, now is the moment, because on Friday we start with teaching bioenergetic synchronization technique, and we're distributing it online to about 30 countries around the world. We're thrilled about the connection that's happening with our Energy Codes community globally, and we'd love for you to be a part of that. Coming up then next weekend is an amazing event that is also going to be live streamed, the Sedona Retreat. We're not going to Sedona, we're going to do it right here with you at home, in which I speak about the ancient civilizations on the planet, what they came for, what technologies and information and wisdoms they left, and what we have become as the byproduct of the culmination of that. I'm going to take you on a travel to sacred sites through pictures, sacred sites that we've traveled to with our Journey Awakes, and share with you the images and the experiences that we have when we go there, for the purpose of you understanding that there's only one story that's ever been happening on this planet, and it's your story. And I'd love for you to understand how your personal story is part of the big story that humanity experiences, simply by being human. And when we have an understanding like that, everything begins to change. So we create spaciousness, and we begin to have the life that we as a multidimensional being were meant to have. So that's next weekend. I used to call it the Lineage Retreat, and then it became the Sedona Retreat because we just loved going to Sedona. So I'm going to incorporate meditations and all kinds of experiential exercises in it for you as well. A wonderful way for you to plug in to a deeper understanding of how to work with energy in such a way that it starts to work in our favor. No exceptions. Because there's only one thing happening here, and it's you at a choice point. And as you begin to learn that as I choose love and curiosity and adventure, I'm actually tapping in to my true essential nature. And when I do that, I become empowered by universal energy. I don't separate myself off by disconnecting from the heavens or from our dear Mother Earth. We're here as the bridge between those worlds, and it's time for us to reap the benefits of that. That is why you've been sent to go home and sit down, because it's time for us to regroup and to understand what's really going on here. So let me see. I think I have a few other announcements. I'm also going to be doing some things in June. We're going to be continuing our free Body Awake Yoga, so join us in that. Even if you're not a yogi, just come onto the mat and watch what happens. We're building circuits all the way through the practices. There'll be an interactive live stream of the Energy Codes Advanced in Level 4, and we'll be doing an Energy Codes fast track that level 1 if you've never been in the Energy Codes work in June. So plug in with us to learn how to build the circuits and be plugged into working with the raw energy of your true nature in June if you haven't ever plugged into a level 1 of the coursework before. It's a way to get it in a compressed version, but get all the facts that you need. There are many more things here going on, but I just want to share with you. Oh, also a healing transmission, Wednesday, May 27th, coming right up. Wednesday, May 27th. You do not want to miss the healing transmission. We work with the energies that are so subtle, words cannot really be assigned to them. And I do love those realms. So many blessings to you all. We're getting ready to join up on the masterclass in just a few moments. If you want to hop into that, you can click on the link that is available for you right now in the chat and join us in the masterclass. And what we do in the masterclass is take these topics into deeper discussions and experiential things that allow us to really begin to feel and know who we are, not just have an idea about it or a conversation. So I look forward to connecting with you deeply in the masterclass and in whatever way I can be of service to you coming up soon. So much love to you all. I'm absolutely in love with this community and the way that we have grown, and the way, most importantly, the way that we are serving each other. So thank you all for being there for one another on our Facebook groups and for plugging in so deeply. Much, much love to you all. I'll see you in just a few minutes. We'll be starting up on the master class at 1/4 to the hour, so in about 25 minutes, okay? We'll see you right there in the master class. Bye-bye, everyone.